There's a confusion regarding the issue of getting paid for da'wah and the YouTube ads and then the new YouTube guidelines. I want to remove this confusion. First and foremost, the issue of a person getting paid for da'wah is of two types. One, where that person is dedicated for da'wah, meaning that person does not have a job. His job is to invite people to Islam or to create content for Islam or to publish books or whatever the case may be. And that person has certain skills and potential that the ummah needs. And if this is the case, then it is ideal if that person is able to actually get an organization of some sort or to be sponsored so that he continues to do this work, which otherwise he would not be able to do if he had a regular job. Then that's completely fine. So a person has actually something useful to put, not some funny people, with all due respect, some nobody in terms of everything, who comes in and has absolutely no substance in the da'was, and then he's begging the followers, please, Patreon, give me money, give me fulus. And then what are you putting out there? Either falsehood or falsehood mixed with truth, or stuff that is not really of value. It's stuff that anybody could make on as a part-time. You have to understand, what we're doing right now is something we do in our own personal time. That doesn't require a payment. You get what I'm saying? Because that's above and beyond. That's something very minimal. People who will get paid for this should be doing full time, like a regular job, like 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. They should be out there putting out content. Otherwise, it's not fair. Get a regular job and then do your da'wah on, in your own private time, in your own personal time, and don't get paid for that. Don't get compensated. So if a person has those skills and they get that kind of job, which is something that I had at some point in my life, I was working in the da'wah center. Alhamdulillah. Now this is one type. The other type is people that actually say, I will not work with you. I will not give da'wah. I will not give a lecture unless you pay me for it. And that is problematic. And that is where most of the scholars will have an issue. I don't know if some allow it, but that is definitely going against these principles in these ayat, wherein you're saying, "Ma as'alukum alayhi min ajr." I'm not asking for a payment. So you have certain du'at who actually make it a prerequisite that they go on first class and they get a 5-star hotel, and then they actually charge per hour or per lecture or per day. And I don't know. That is a whole different discussion, and that's what the problem is. Now, if that person is the type where they're constantly, roaming the world giving talks, and that's the only way they're able to earn a living because they can't be sponsored by an organization, okay, maybe. But then, you got to take it easy on the people and don't try to take advantage of the need that they have for you to try to make some bucks off of them and get rich on behalf of their donators. I hope that's clear. Ideally, you don't want to get paid for whatever you're doing. Thirdly, you can actually offer a service. If you're a Muslim who's offering a service, you've published a book, you've written a book that you want to make money out of, or you're offering a certain service that is not available or could be available but requires a lot of work from you, it requires a lot of effort, and you're actually getting a payment of some sort, that's also not a problem. And obviously, we're doing that with One Way to Tarbiyah as an example. We do this with One Way to Tarbiyah. It's a service that we're offering that most people cannot attain on their own. They cannot develop on their own because of lack of resources or lack of time or whatever. So we do the work on your behalf, and it's not just one-man show. It's a bunch of us in the family. Then that's completely fine. With a reasonable amount for you to benefit. We're not trying to, become filthy rich off something that is that humble and that small. Any brother who's out there giving da'wah like this, it's also not an issue. No problemo. Because this is a paid service, and you could do that. You could do that. That is not like me saying, I will not give this talk unless you give me $2,000 or something of the sort. Then we have the issue of the YouTube ads. Now, where does the YouTube ads, where do they fall under all this? Allahu A'lam. But they certainly don't fall under the first or the second, because the fact is that they're haram. You see, in the first and second case, we were discussing merely, I teach, you pay me for that. No issue. I teach, an organization sponsors me. No issue. I teach in my own private time. I don't want to get paid. No issue. But there's no haram in the equation. When it comes to YouTube ads, now you have haram in the equation. And that haram messes up the whole thing. Now, I understand that YouTube had sent out an email to all of us YouTube channel owners and told us that the new guideline is that they may impose ads on certain channels and certain videos depending on certain guidelines. We understand that. So when I was given a talk about Ali Dawah and others, and I was speaking about this, by default, we are excluding from those the channels who found that videos were being put in spite of them. Because I was speaking about a person who's willingly allowing haram to be advertised for them to make money out of that. If YouTube did that and imposed it on me, then I'm not guilty, nor are you. So if one day you find one way to paradise for whatever reason, let's say YouTube decides that, okay, we're a big channel and they want to use us and they stop putting ads, you can't come and tell me, brother, what a hypocrite. Because you told us before that you shouldn't be using YouTube ads, and here you are. Habibi, YouTube imposed it on me. And if they had imposed it on other brothers, then we're not going to be guilty and they're not guilty either. But if I willingly monetize and allow the ads, then I got a problem. How could that be halal? How can that be halal under any circumstance? Explain and justify. So are we all clear on that? Inshallah, you don't have to respond. I hope you're all clear, because that's what the point of contention has been, and that's where the point of contention is. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jal to provide us all with lawful income and lawful wealth, and allow us to give da'wah without having to be compensated, except for those who are qualified. And honestly, I would say they're very small in number. The people that the ummah actually is in need of in a certain field, in a certain domain, in a certain language, the people actually need those people to be available at all times for the Muslim ummah. Therefore, they should be taken care of from a financial point of view so they can exert and dedicate their time for da'wah. They're there, but they're a small number of people. It is not a bandwagon for everybody to jump on, whether they've been given da'wah for 1 or 2 years, or they're still newbies, or they have no idea what they're doing, or they're not qualified, or they don't have the material, they don't have the backbone to be in that position. Unfortunately, many have done that. They've squeezed themselves into this tight group of elite people, and they've made themselves among them, and now they're getting paid more than anybody in the name of, well, brother, I'm giving da'wah, so y'all need to take care of me. No, Habibi, you need to take care of you. Nobody needs to take care of you, because people are actually taking out money which they otherwise could have been given to a miskin person who cannot even find food to put in his belly. Instead of giving it to a miskin who's on the verge of dying from starvation, they're giving it to you so you can buy a Canon camera 5400 DBEEE that costs $10,000, so you can make a high quality video. You got to be kidding me, bro. You got to be kidding me. Or for them to fly you from this country to another country on business class, or for you to stay in this fancy hotel. Sponsor my trips of da'wah trips. Then you go have a luxurious trip from beginning till the end on the expense of these people that are donating money for you. That money which is actually more deserving to be given to the actual needy people. People that need operations in the hospitals who cannot even find anyone to cover for them. So if you're going to put yourself out there to take money from the people, you need to fear Allah in this regard. It has to be the bare minimum that keeps you afloat for you to cover your trip on the lowest tier possible. If someone invites you on business class, alhamdulillah. Someone puts you in a 5-star hotel, alhamdulillah. That's on the hosts if they want to honor you like that. But for you to impose and for you to take people's money on Patreon and elsewhere so you can buy fancy equipment, and then what are you putting out there? What are you putting out there that the Muslims are in need of? If nothing, man, you got a problem, man. Because you'll be asked about every one of them pennies that you made.